I've got the birds here in the middle of the ocean. And the new year starts with them hunting flying fish. Life like this is really extremely simple. You have nothing to worry about except keeping the boat moving. You have nothing to do except keeping the boat moving. Well, occasionally make some food and eat it. And then there is this constant movement that I think by now we got used to. But I think it's this mental state of really not having any stress at all. And that feeling that just lasts hour in, hour out, day in, day out. In the first race around the world, I think it was at the end of the 60s, a French competitor, Bernard Moitessier, was leading the pack by quite a lot. When he was almost done under the Cape of South America and on his way back north, he decided he was not going to finish the race. And he changed his cap, went under South Africa once more and ended up in Tahiti. And on a morning like this, one can almost understand it. Except, of course, that I would have been extremely lonely all by myself on a boat. The first mango, ripe to perfection and unbelievable if you are used to our European product. There is this program called Open CPN that allows you to download grip files with the weather forecast and to integrate your boat electronics and therefore the GPS position on the chart. But the advantage of this Open CPN is that it's absolutely for free, created by cruisers for cruisers. It is going slow but in the right direction. That's the distance to the next waypoint, which is Fernando de Noronha. Luca is benefiting from the fact that there is no sunshine today. We looked at the weather forecast. It looks like that this is going to stay like this until, well, at least for the next 4 or 5 days. So a force 3, growing perhaps to a force 4 from the east. That means that the doldrums have been passed at least. Just at sunset.
Avevo appena chiesto a mamma cos'è il content di oggi, visto che non è successo niente. Volamo. Eccola in via. Questo va aperto il pesce. Lo amo.
It looks like this one, which is in Dutch the Atlantische Boniter and in Latin the Sarda Sarda. Good morning, because it is really getting quite hot on board. The temperature is 28 degrees. The seawater temperature, which is stable above 30 degrees, and has been like this, I think, for the last. Everything on board is just warm. Everything that I touch is 30 degrees. Yesterday, when I cleaned the probably the smallest bonito that I've ever seen, it was just like it has been. But it was as if it was still alive and pulsing. Well, it almost was, of course, but because of this temperature of the flesh, we have got very, very little wind. On top of that, it comes from the northeast, which means practically straight from behind. See, it's 4:30 in the morning. So I've got an average boat speed of 4.3. I've got a maximum boat speed of 7.1. That means that our runs at the moment are really very slow. I decided just to check what we did in 2003, and because there I always remember very light winds, and in fact we did have very light winds. The problem was that with these very light winds, so we are talking about 8 knots of wind, the rolling of the ocean swell meant that the spinnaker, which should be able to pull the boat at 4 knots as it does currently, just kept collapsing. So we were under engine for days and days after the real flat doldrums. Then I realized that today is a special day, because today is day 11. And on day 11 we decided that we were fed up. So we altered course straight for land and arrived in Maceió. So that's the longest passage Fabio and I have ever done. 11 days. And today is day 11. I also read that we were reading our last cured ham for breakfast on this 11th day. Well, there is no chance of that this time round. And we have finished the 11th day, sailed for 1,027 nautical miles. As you can see, an average of by now only is 6.5. I looked at some statistics, and with Faidate we did 1,717 nautical miles from La Gomera to Maceió, averaging 6.6 knots. Then we did almost 4 days under engine, and now we have done a little bit more than 1. So that brings us right here. The 30th of December, we were more or less at the same spot as we were with Faidate on the 20th of January. So with Faidate, in 1, 2, 3 days we arrived here, and now with our super performance catamaran, we did in 1, 2, 3 days we arrived here. A difference being 80 nautical miles. As Fabio says, a performance catamaran can go fast. It doesn't always go fast.